Good morning, everybody. I'm going to have to get my kettle boiled because I'm behind schedule, but I just got some tea this morning. Someone called me with some tea, which was not on my list to talk about, but let's talk about this tea in a moment. I'm just quickly taking a glance at the tea, and I'm going to read this article. And see if I got the story straight. But man, hey, morning, Charles. Morning, Salandiva. Morning, Jova. I'm just trying to make sure I got this story straight because this is some tea going on. Give me one quick second to put my kettle on before we go into this tea. 1 second, guys. Okay, thanks for patience. I'm going to get some green tea in a second. But good to see everybody up and at 'em. Another day, another dollar. But how was everybody's week? Good morning, FR, Felicia. Um, this week has been okay. Kind of, the weather has definitely changed. It's cold over here. I had to put my furnace on. I was trying to hold out as long as possible. That's finished. So I have the heat on. I checked the first frost date, which said November 10th. I saw frost on the roofs yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. So there goes that theory. And I still have things to harvest. A couple of eggplants out there. A couple of 2 tomatoes are still out there. Some cherry tomatoes. I have a squash growing, but was planted way too late. But it's still there. The squirrels killed one, ate one, and one is still there. So let's see how far it can come along until it gets really cold. The watermelons didn't come to nothing. The vines are growing now, but it's too late for that. Spinach is doing well. The herbs are doing well. I'm going to have to cut them down. Man, I just can't keep up. Those of you who have a garden know, I just can't keep up with the harvest time. But it will soon be over for me, and then I'm going to start my indoor garden. What else happened this week? I got some errands to run. It's time to put on the snow tires. Those of you who live in a cold climate, usually by the end of October, you put your snow tires on. So that's going to be happening. My remote for my car literally does not work. I've changed the battery a million times. I think I have to go get the key changed. So at this point, I have to actually leave my front door unlocked so that I can get into my car, because when I press the button, nothing happens. And the key, the real key part, that's, you can slide out of the remote, the handle of it broke off. So all I have is a little metal stick that there's nothing to grab on. It's gotten to be a hot mess. So I have to go get that changed. And it's so hard to make time to do that because they're only open during certain hours. And then, so I'm going to have to go on my lunch or something, I don't know, and go get them to give me a new key and program it to my car, because this is not going to work in the dead of winter. Can you imagine you're pressing the button, you can't get into your car, which means I can't leave things in my car that are of high value because somebody might just go and take them. So it makes life very complicated. Good morning, Jamaica. So my sister just called me this morning with some tea, some story in Jamaica. So I said, what? So I'm trying to figure out which story is the right story. Okay, so I'm trying to find, I think this is the right story. No, it says 2017. Hold on. Let me see if I can do a different search because it's giving me old stories. I can tell you what she told me, but I don't even know if it's the right story because people can exaggerate. Um, Let me see if I can find. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, okay, this must be the one. Hold on, police crime scene. Okay, this is the story. I found it. So this is the story. I'm only reading it for the first time. Um, this is horrible. Just a nice looking lady, nice little baby. So this is what happened. A member of parliament in Jamaica had a girl that he had a baby with. I guess it's a side chick. I'm not too sure if he's married or not, but there's some. I'm gonna sift through it while we're on together, so we can figure this out, and then you can tell me what you think. Good morning, J3GS. So a member of parliament had a child with a girl, a 10-month-old daughter, and from what I was just told, I'm trying to figure out the story right now. The girl was 27 years old and she had a 10-month-old baby for this member of parliament. And somebody had her taken out and the baby. And from what I understand, it was his other baby mother who is a Navy officer in the U.S. Navy. Yes, this is what's happening here. So I'm getting morning D mood. I'm So let me read the article. It's kind of like skim through it. So the police are now processing a crime scene they believe is linked to a disappearance of opposition member of parliament Philip Palwell's 10-month-old daughter and her mother, law enforcement say. So from what I heard, the U.S. naval officer hired her cousin to go take out the other girl and the baby. Then, when it was all done, they burned the bodies and to cover up the crime. Now they're saying the naval officer hired somebody else to take out her cousin to cover her tracks. So when the cousin found out that he was next, he confessed to the police. That's the short story, but I'm trying to figure out from the story now. So the 27-year-old and the 10-month-old were taken out. So the U.S. naval officer, they call her, let me find her name. Maybe somebody knows her. 34-year-old petty officer in the U.S. Navy, Leota Bradshaw, who shares a child with Palwell among the persons in custody. So she has a lawyer. And let me see what happened. No, this is just soap opera. The story is scary and comes at a time when I have been threatened by scammers, blah, 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 blah. So where's the rest of the story? They cut it off. That's the story. So it seems to be true. Why would a U.S. naval officer go hire someone to, like, you're not even in Jamaica. Do you think the man's not having somebody else on this? Like, what were you thinking? And she got caught. But why are you going to take someone's child? Like, that's a new level of wickedness. But she got caught and she was going to take out her cousin. She hired her cousin to do a job. And then, man, she is, wow. So I guess they had filed a police report before it came out looking for the baby because I guess they thought it was a kidnapping or I don't know what they thought it was. Abduction. Yeah, it says here. And then they found out when the guy confessed what was going on. It was a hit. I'm just trying to skim through it now. So kidnapping, it went from a kidnapping to a conspiracy to, click, and yeah, DCP named 34-year-old petty officer. This is terrible. I don't know. She doesn't seem mentally well. Good morning, Carbon. And did I miss anybody? She doesn't seem mentally well. I don't see why you're taking out. I don't know, man. People need to know what they're getting into. They need to know what they're getting into because It don't make no sense. Hold on. Yeah. Oh, don't D-mood. Lord have mercy. Don't get me started with that. Maybe we should talk about that. I was horrified when I got that video clip from my Trinidadian friend to ago. You see, are you a kid? I couldn't believe the crab lady. And then somebody, sorry, let me go back to the chat. Hold on, let me catch up with it. Good morning, everybody. We're going into some tea this morning because I got a phone call and now I'm in the tea. But I had a few things to talk about. But yeah, so there's a member of parliament. If you missed the beginning, I got some tea. I just checked on the internet. It is true. It's in the Gleaner, Jamaican Gleaner. A member of parliament's baby mother and baby got kidnapped, abducted, only to find out that his other baby mother, who's a naval officer in the US, hired a hit on the other baby mother and the child. I guess she was jealous. I don't know what's going on with people. Like, really? Really? So her cousin who did the hit for the naval officer was next. She hired somebody else now to take the cousin out. He found out, and then he confessed to the police because it got bigger than he could manage, and this lady's like covering her tracks. So she get called out. So I don't know what's going to happen to her, but she's probably going to have to get tried in Jamaica. This is what's happening. The crab lady now, we'll get to that later, but man, this is Jamaica that's in the news. Jeez. The same reason an astronaut would drive across country in a diaper to kill her lover significant. I must have missed that story. Her lover significant other. I know people don't want to share, but good morning, Gina. I know people don't want to share, but this is ridiculous. You can't make somebody. I guess I could understand in a way that you kind of snap, but you can't make somebody want you, be with you, and like you can't make them do it. So it's either you either take what you get or move along. But this is getting out of hand. My mom keeps up with a tea, but I used to be the one to watch TVJ and have it on the radio playing. Sometimes the other station, the local station, through the internet radio, and I used to watch the other station, TVJ and what the other one called it? There's only 2 channels, so you guys know there was only 2. And keep up with the news, but then I kind of stopped. Oh my goodness. When I got the crab lady. But anyways, we'll get to that after. But there's a problem. People just need to get. Oh, I don't have my mic on. Let me. That's why I'm yelling. Hold on 1 second. Let me get the microphone because I yell. 1 moment. Okay, testing. Okay, that seems to. I think I'm yelling. Okay, that's a new level of wicked. Like you can't make somebody want to be with you. So and you're in the Navy. You're probably not even really there that often. What do you think's happening when you're not there? And the man doesn't have a baby. What are you gonna? I don't know how someone could take out someone's child. That's just like a new level of wickedness. I could understand, fighting somebody, maybe kicking them down in a fit of rage, but to go higher, I don't know what's wrong with her. And to think that no one's gonna catch her is a whole other thing. But yeah, that's what happened in I guess it happened. Where's the date on this thing? It says October the 6th. It was published, but they're doing a further probe. And the baby's so cute too. And the lady looks familiar too. Looks somebody I know. She reminds me of somebody. I don't know. That's not right. Now the second scandal in Jamaica. My God, it reached my WhatsApp. I was horrified. So there's a scandal about the crab. Let me find the video that the person sent. Somebody bought some crabs from the street vendors in hold on, let me the The military will prosecute her first under the UCMJ. Then they'll. Oh, she gonna get screwed over then. She gonna get screwed over. I hope it was worth. Well, it's not worth it, but that she gonna get screwed over. Hmm. She gonna get screwed over then. She has to go through the military police justice system. She gonna get screwed over. Let me see here. So somebody sent me a video. So some guy was at a street vendor in Jamaica. I think it's Kingston. It certainly wasn't. Hold on. Where's the video there? Where she sent me? Oh, see, she there. Hold on. Just sent me a video. And this the man. I'm watching the video again. The man is buying crab from a street vendor, and then buy the crab there, and they're making soup. And he's recording himself selfie eating the crab. When him turn now, him see a woman bare behind, and she's wiping her behind, and she just use the bathroom in a bucket or something while she's kind of serving the food. This went through all over Jamaica, all over anybody who's Jamaican. It reached everybody's feed. And because I think most times when you come off the plane, there's certain street vendors, and depending on where you fly through, whether Kingston or Montego Bay, there's certain vendors. By the time you get on the highway, you pull over. You usually go get like coconut water. Some people you go and you buy jerk chicken or jerk pork, and you go and sit down and eat at certain vendors. And they have like a soup or porridge. Different vendors sell different things depending on what time you fly in. Well, that caused a scandal. Then I saw another video with a girl who said she ate there with her friends, and then they had the crabs in a bowl on the same white bucket. I think it's the same bucket that the woman's using as a bathroom. So they were horrified. So that was a whole scandal. So they closed down the whole strip that they sell. And then they talked to some other vendors, and they were horrified. Like, that's disgusting. She didn't even go find a washroom or go somewhere else and excuse herself and go somewhere else, do something, wash her hands and thing and come back. She's doing it right behind the tables, kind of standing. It was horrified. So now no one in Jamaica, from what they're saying, because they talked to some other vendors in some other parishes, their sales have gone down because no one's eating from vendors right now. You can let the dirty girl them cook your food. I know this. Oh, you know. Oh, God. You chew gum all day. I'm telling you, the sales them went down. And I don't really eat from people because I heard some stories, and all kind of obia and witchcraft and all kind of something. People do, all kind of stuff. And this is the scandal. So now they close on the whole strip. Nobody can sell food there right now. They're investigating. They put her full name in the paper. She said she had diarrhea and she had to go. Well, to me, it seems like you've done this before. Like, this is a regular thing for you. You weren't. You were a pro at this. You're standing, serving, had one hand doing something else, and she was a pro at this. So I don't know what they're gonna do, but the health department is the Kingston and St. Andrew Health Department is investigating. They closed down the site to have it sanitized, and it's still closed for non-compliance of public health food handling. Hey, Tamika, good morning. I couldn't believe it when she sent it to me. I'm like, weird, this is a lie. This is a joke. She's like, nope, this is going around social media, but I just didn't get this. So a lot of people, even people who live overseas, we usually go and buy from street vendors. That's going to affect their sales across the board, because a lot of people depend on return residences and people going back to visit to buy. And that's it. I'm reading through. Yeah, she didn't. They don't seem to have much remorse about it. She seems to be like, oh, there's no washrooms there, but you kind of know that, and you have to kind of close your shop for 10, 15 minutes, go to the washroom and come back. Yeah, her name. Let me call out her name just in case somebody know her. The world is very small, right? What's her name there? Hold on, let me find her name there. Um, I'm not very often in Kingston, so for me, it's kind of like I don't know if that would really happen because I think the shops that I go to usually have a central washroom or there's a washroom around that the people them can use, and sometimes they have to pay or have to bring their own toilet paper. But I've never seen that where I go because I'm not really up in Kingston too much. If I'm in Kingston, I'm going to an actual restaurant. What's her? Hold on, I'm trying to find her name. Give me a second here. Well, I'll call out her name. It's I'm real. Oh, Alice Woog, Wugh. Woog, who? I don't know how to pronounce that name. Yeah, she goes, since the incident, the offending vendor, Alice Woog, has sought to explain that she had an episode of diarrhea. They didn't even spell it properly. After drinking a beer. Then she said caused her to lose control of her bowels, leaving her with no choice but to relieve herself at the spot where she also prepares meals for public consumption. Good morning, I'm Drells. Did I miss anybody? Yes, we're having an amazing Saturday so far. We're just going to some tea. And it says here the future of Crab Circle is now in question as many believe the vendors will be unable to attract large volume of customers they once did. Yeah, that is true. I don't think anybody's buying crabs anytime soon. So we have to remember that everything's on camera. Like people have cell phones, they're doing Snapchat and all the different, things. They're selfieing or they're doing FaceTime, and you'll be surprised you'll be caught on camera. Her behind reach all over America, Canada, all the islands them see this woman's behind. And the man who ate the crab was just like, "Oh my god." There's some things that you don't mess around with, and food handling people's food. I am the kind of person I don't play around with that. I will never eat from you again, ever in my life. And I make sure that nobody else I know eats from you. Like you don't mess around with people's food. But that's the two tea I got this morning. Well, this week and then this morning. But I couldn't believe there's always some kind of scandal. Let me see here. She so she gonna give it to everybody else. She I don't know why she thought that was appropriate, but I'm telling you, to me it seemed like she did it before. She did it before. I think she just made up that story to make it sound like get some sympathy. I think she's done it before and she would probably do it again. I don't know if anyone here has been there. Could have just had a hand wash station there. She could have moved. She could have closed her stand for like a 5 minutes and go do something. Go to the washroom, wash up, and then come back. She was actually doing it at the stand. So the guy who had his camera happened to see her behind because of he was standing at another person's stand at this point, and then he sees what she's doing at her stand, literally at the cashier. She's at the cashier and she's standing up and she's, anyways, she she needs to be fired. And I think they're going to take away her vendor thing and she's never going to sell food again, and I think that's fair. That is disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting. And she gave everybody a bad name. Anyways, what else should we talk about today? Because I'm all over the place. Let me see here. But she didn't wash her hands, that's for sure. So that was a big problem. I don't know if you guys heard. Let me drop the link again and go make my tea. Give me 1 second. Today I'm absolutely unorganized. Give me 1 second. Let me get the tea bag on the thing. One moment. Commercial break. Okay, thank you for your patience. I had to get my tea because that time of year in my throat. If I don't drink tea, it's gonna be a problem, as you can already hear. Um, the government's gonna get the blame as the government is getting some of the blame because of no toilets and health inspections. Yeah, I think I don't know what they're gonna do, but they should have some washrooms, especially if it's a place that tourists go to. They must can get some porta potties and or whatever, and get some plumbing and some sinks to have hand washing stations. Even if you're traveling and you come off a taxi, you want to kind of wash your hands and stuff before you eat. So they should have, help them invest in some infrastructure at these places and get those things organized. But she just took it to a new level because nobody was really doing that except for she. That's just I don't know what's going on. That's just weird to me. Now I don't know if you guys have heard about I'm seeing a lot on my feed the in France, the bed bug outbreak in France. Well, there's an outbreak of bed bugs in France all over the place, they're saying. Like every which where. Hey G Mama, good morning to you. Every which where there's bed bugs. And it's a problem. And a lot of people it was fashion week, so a lot of people were traveling and traveled to France and coming back and going all over the place. So good morning, she said. So a lot of people were it doesn't matter if there's an outbreak. You have to assume when you're traveling that there's a potential that you could have. Good morning, DJ Ron. You could have been exposed to bed bugs or the hotel, even hotels, even 5-star, hotels, um, could have bugs. So a lot of people when they travel, they carry sprays and certain things. They don't keep their suitcase on the floor. Like there's little things that you can do, but ultimately, when I come back from a trip, my suitcase is like the plague, and I will leave it outside in the snow. I don't even care. I'll leave the bag outside for a couple of hours. If it's cold, I'm okay because the food will keep fresh. I'll take out the food, maybe I'll shake out stuff. All the clothes, clean or dirty, or whatever, everything's all put in a bag and thrown into the machine on hot water. There's a way you have to move because not even bed bugs, cockroaches too. You've seen them come out of suitcases. Them just hitch a ride to Canada to come and start a new life over here. Good morning, Sammy Joe. And it's a problem. And from what they said, it doesn't. Bed bugs don't carry diseases. It's just annoying to have something biting you while you're sleeping and all these little nicks on your skin, but it's not a concern for diseases, so they say. I know we've had that problem here, not all over the city, but there's always buildings that residents will get a notification that there's an outbreak going on in the building, and that's been happening for years. But what I didn't realize, they're having problems. I'm talking on the bus, the streetcar, the subway, the movie theaters have bed bugs. The fancy theaters that you go see plays and orchestras have, like, everywhere you go, there's bed bugs. So you have to shake off everything before you go home. And don't worry if the bed bugs are French, they will. Then something came on my feed and they're saying the problem too is that the bugs are becoming resistant because all we're doing is spraying them with all these chemicals. So they're coming resistant. So there's some people doing videos about some natural remedies. Well, the first remedy is oh, you didn't even know bed bugs existed? Yeah, my mom just like, there's a saying, I guess in England, sleep tight. What's it? What? Good night, sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. That's what you say good night to your child. That was like a little thing that you said. Kind of like Rockabye Baby, which is also very violent, but it's like, what? But don't let the bed bugs bite. So we always knew there were bed bugs, but we never really had that problem. I know a lady here who did, because she lives in a building, and once the building's infested, it's very hard to keep them out of your unit. You got kids playing with other kids, and this is the problem. So you have to really be vigilant in keeping things out of your home, toys, bags. When you're carrying things into your house, you're very careful, inspect them before you come in, because once you get them, it's hard. to get rid of. A lot of people I know, even back home, we kept, it was kind of annoying, but we kept the mattresses wrapped in the plastic that it comes in. So you'll be on the bed and hear crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. Like it's just, but we kept the plastic even over here. We would keep the plastic on the mattress. I had the plastic on my mattress for a long time. Now it's off, but it was just like you go on there, crinkle, 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 because you didn't want anything to even get into the mattress. Some people do that. You can buy the casing for your mattress. I have some of those in the house. So the guest rooms have casing. So people come here, they're not on the mattress. I have the casings around the pillows. Stuff like that is what you can really do. Steam the mat, like just to find some natural ways. Because if you keep spraying them, they're gonna become resistant. Yeah, it's not a nursery, not just a nursery rhyme. It's true, especially in those times when they were made, the rhymes were made. There's a lot of bed bugs. So Paris is a city of love, and they got bed bugs. It's kind of gross. So just be cautious. Bed bugs are probably in your city too. You just don't even know about it. And you know, when you're going to places and you're sitting in chairs, it could even be church. Who knows? It probably is even some churches, because I know one lady came to church way back, and I said to her, "I think your child has pink eye." Oh no, and she's going on and on, up and down, and carrying on. I'm like, I just took my little bag and my little sanitizer, because I walk with sanitizer all my life, and I'm like, and I kept away from them. And the child's wiping her eye and touching everything. Two twos, three other kids got pink eye, and then she's, oh, I'm sorry. I told you your kid had pink eye. Why did you bring them to church? The child should have been at home. Spread the pink eye to other people's kids, and they were pissed, to put it mildly. But yeah, I'm gonna start doing that too. There's this girl I watch on the gram. She gets a lot of hate from people, but I love it. She's like OCD clean. I love it. She does it for me. And she travels with the disposable sheets, pillow protectors. She cleans, when she checks in, she spends like 15-20 minutes and does a sanitizing clean, because she knows that the cleaners don't clean thoroughly. And then you're using a space that was used by hundreds of people, especially when she goes on a cruise ship. And people were like, why are you going on vacation to end up to go clean and whatever? She's like, if that's going to keep me and my family from getting sick, then that's what I'm going to do. And lo and behold, most of the people on some of the ships she's been on, when the cruise was finished, they had a flu or they got sick from being exposed to the beds, the phone, the TV, the remote, all these things. But I'm going to start doing that too. I usually travel with my pillow and a pillowcase, but now I'm going all the way extra. Oh, you too, Gma. I'm telling you, I think we're gonna have to start doing that. I went to Vegas a couple of years back, and they had outbreak of, you see. So I don't, and I'm trying to travel light. Like I used to travel with a whole bunch of clothes and different outfits. Nah, I'll keep it simple. Couple of leggings and different tops, and just rotate and mix and match. I'm not traveling with a lot of clothes. So when I come back, that bag is staying outside until I feel like bringing it inside. I do not want the bag to even come into. I don't store luggage in my house. That stays in the garage. Um, your bed bugs got no. The bed bugs don't have pink eye. But people, if you know your child or someone's sick, don't be taking them to public spaces. Like who does that? But some parents don't have any sense. My wife sprays the beds and surface areas when we get. You have to. I don't know if what's this lady's name on Instagram. She's a big channel now. I happen to stumble upon her, and it doesn't take long. Like she travels with certain things in her bag. She wipes, the counters and stuff, the washroom, the faucets with like Clorox wipe. Not a lot. Like just like it's not a lot to carry. I mean, she's just carrying a few bits and bobs. She carries this little thing, and she kind of mops the bathroom floor and gets all the corners. She cleans the toilet because and certain things that your family's going to be touching and using. And then she cleans the shower floor and stuff, because You could get foot fungus, you could get all kind of stuff. Like, I don't think people realize how much risk you're taking using public facilities. And I think most people, even she uses you have flip-flops that you shower in. Like, I don't really shower. I kind of, when I'm traveling, I'm not really barefoot anywhere. It's understood that I'm not putting my feet on any ground, and I have flip flops that I shower in. But maybe she wants to just put her foot down so she cleans it. But maybe her kids, who knows? You don't know what's going to happen. So she just sanitizes everything and takes it from there. But I'm trying to find her channel on my feed. I'm sure you guys, maybe some of you have seen her, because if I like videos, it may come on your feed. Give me a second to find it. Hey, Miss Shirley, good morning to you. Let me keep up with the chat too. You have to spend that time. And I haven't been on a cruise. I usually just go to places, but I've heard cruises, ships, you have to clean your room. Like, they don't go through a thorough cleaning. Even people on the plane, you have to wipe stuff down. Like, you don't know what people have done. And it takes a second. Just wipe off the tray, the commonly touched points, just wipe them down. Give me a second. I think her name is, I like her content. It's very well done and put together. And if you guys can follow her, that might be good. Where's her channel? Give me a second. I can't remember her name, so it's gonna be hard to find it. Did I save one of her videos? I can't find it. It's not pulling up. But she's always cleaning. I'm gonna type in cleaning in my search engine. And she went on some trips with Scrub Daddy. They sponsor her. Like, she's a big channel. It's not pulling up right now. Go figure. If I find a video of hers, I'll share it on my reels, so you can see it. If those of you on the gram, she's got nice content. She cleans. Her rooms are immaculate. The way she stages her bedroom and her kitchen, I like it. I like looking at that kind of content. Anyways, I don't see her on my feed right now. I don't see it. Sorry, I was trying to find it so I can tell you the names so you can follow her. But she got me into. I'm like, oh wow. Let me see here. We sanitize everything in the room and spray down everything way before the pandemic. It's just something you do because that's how germs spread. And 50 million people have been in that room. I've been doing this. People call me OCD. I'm going to keep doing it because I know I can catch things easily. I'm better now. Building my immune system, and dust, I cannot dust even in my own house. Dust gets me every single time. My last head cold, sinus cold, was because of the chicken coop, cleaning the coop. I have to wear a mask in there. So every morning I go in there, I tidy up, but I have to put on a mask. I cannot tolerate dust. Let me see here. In church, I've seen pink eye roaches crawling on the purses and on people coming to church sick and regurgitating. It's really sad that people don't care. And girl, when the pandemic hit, I've always been OCD and scornful. I hate when they ask us to hold hands and pray. I'm just running. As soon as it's finished, I'm running to the washroom to go wash my hands. I'm so scornful. I just don't like it because people cough in their hand before the pandemic. But when the pandemic hit, they paid for high-end air purifiers to help make sure that the air is clean. So they have 2 units, one in the sanctuary, one in the common area. So at least when you're sitting down, the air is being clean and it's turning over. It's not just, and then the furnace filter and the filters, they use the higher end filters now, but they've done what they could, but yeah. Oh, hey, Gigi. Hold on. Let me let you up here. Morning, Gigi.
Hey there. Good morning. Oh, let me change my.
Where were you last night? I was looking for you.
I just didn't have it in me. I was like, I ain't got it today. I just did not have it. So, but I wanted to come up because the Paris thing, because I've been hearing a lot about it. car. Can you go? Like, okay, sorry.
Mhm.
I've been hearing a lot about it because I followed this one comedian who had shows there, and they ended up canceling their shows because they were just freaking out about the whole thing. And I was like, I would have too, because let me tell you, probably about it was about 13, 14 years ago. It was bad here in Ohio, and bed bugs don't care about. They're not discriminatory. They don't care
Oh
if you
no.
clean your or whatever. And we ended up my niece and nephew's mom had them and didn't tell me, and she had come to my house. And then we ended up having them. And the reason I found out it was her is because my brother was like, "Has she been in your house?" Because I was like, I don't know how this could have happened. But even though I know it was her, it could have been anything. Because when we had it exterminated. Like, as soon as we saw that this was happening, by the time you see it, first
Mhm.
of all, it's been there too long.
Yeah.
But I have very sensitive skin. So when they bit me, I broke out like all over my arm. So that was part of the like knowing that something was wrong. But it's expensive to exterminate because you can't just come once. They have to keep
Nope.
coming. Thousands
Mhm.
of dollars to get rid of them. But when I tell you, I told that man to put yellow tape on my house and burn that shit down because I don't like no, I don't like any bugs. I get heebie-jeebies about all of them. So
I'm the
even
same
those
way.
stupid stuff, probably the only bug that doesn't heebie-jeebie me, but I still don't really want to see it, is ants. They don't really give me the heebie-jeebies. I just don't want to see them in my house. If you don't pay bills, you don't get to come in. But the guy was like, this could, because I was like, how can you avoid something like this happening? He's like, you really can't. Like, you could go to church. The person who sat down before you could have had it, and now it's attached to you. You could go to the movies. You could go out to eat. Anywhere you go in public and have a
Anywhere.
seat, you can attract, that thing can get on you. So this is my issue when I heard about this Paris thing. I'm like, it's going to hit the States again. Now, what part of the States? Because most people who travel a lot travel out of these bigger
So
cities,
like New
bigger
York and
states.
like
New
the big
York,
ports. I don't know, Cali,
California,
Florida,
Florida.
Miami. Yeah.
Yes, y'all about to be toe up, people. Just be aware. Be vigilant. Because y'all about to get hit. If you don't think people done travel back and forth from Paris to these states, you have lost your mind. And they got them there, but
Well, Paris Fashion Week just happened. So a lot of people came back to the States to do, and then people from Paris came to New York Fashion Week, which was last month. So there's been people
see,
coming, and so eh,
see. Soon as
and
I
you're right,
heard
it's
about it, I
expensive.
was like, "Who is about to hit the states again?" Because there's no way they kept those people from traveling and bringing that in. Now, people they might be a little bit more diligent because I heard Paris has like shut down a lot of stuff there because it's
Mm-hmm.
that bad.
Bad,
I think it's
bad, bad,
everywhere
bad.
there. I won't even watch videos of it. I've heard about the videos, but I won't even watch it because even watching bugs gives me the hit. But I'm like, this is people in the States are looking at it like, oh my gosh, this problem, and honey, be
It's been
vigilant
here. Yeah, I know we
because
had it here. My friend had
they
it
are going
twice. I
they
have
are
no
going
doubt.
to be here, and it's going. And if you are like me, you are going to want to just burn everything down. Like
Yeah.
I can't. I don't even like spiders. Like, and I know they
Mm-mm.
eat other bugs, and I'm
I
like,
don't want to
but
see
I don't want them
aphids.
in
I
my
don't want to see
house.
roaches in my house. I will stop. I stopped cooking. I saw
Nothing.
one roach and that was it. And I asked my
See,
neighbor, "Can it come from
I
the neighbor's house?" Oh no, they can't cross the street. What did I see? Not the street, but not the street, but like the walkway between houses. What did I see when I was watering my plants? It walking across. It was coming from their
they
house.
absolutely can. They absolutely can. So I'm serious, people. Be
It was like it's
vigilant.
too crowded over here. We need more room. Let's go over to
Yep.
her house. So I had
And
to spray the
because it's
perimeter.
so much shame around those type of things, people don't talk about it when they have it. And then they try, and most people can't afford to exterminate it because it's expensive.
It's very
So
expensive, and if your
if
kids or
you're
whoever keep bringing
somebody,
things back and forth, you're still gonna reinfest the place again, and then
yes,
that's
you
how they
got
become
kids.
resistant to the spray.
Yep, you got kids in school. They're going to pick it up from other kids who. It's just it's It freaks me out.
And Dimu said that the bed bugs are on the plane. Exactly. The bed bugs are on the plane.
They everywhere. So you better believe there's going to be some. We're going to eventually. It takes a little bit, so it's probably going to take about a month or two. We're going to hear about these certain states having really bad cases of it. Watch what I say.
I believe you. I know that's what I'm talking about. I'm like, I think some of y'all need to make sure you take this seriously, because it's not nice to have your house infested with stuff, and then you're spraying and they keep coming back.
Very fast. That's why they have to keep coming out. Like, that's why it's not a just come in and exterminate and they're gone. Because when they exterminate, they can only kill the ones that have hatched. So their egg, they tell you this. They be like, there's always some eggs that are going to hatch. So that's why we have to come back. And they come back. I think it was like 3 or 4 times before they can be sure that they've gotten it all. And the sad part is they can even tell you, I guess it ain't really the sad part, it's probably the good part. They can tell you where it began. So for me, it began on my couch, which pissed me off because I was like, did I buy this couch that way? Because we had only had this particular furniture at that time for 6 months. And
so somebody came over.
It was somebody who came over, though. Because at first I was about to blame the furniture company. And then I was like, when I told my brother about it, he told me that his kid's mom had them. And I said, she's been to my house and sat on that couch.
And they hopped off.
Yep. Yep. So, but I'm the kind of person that whatever I go through, I talk about it. So I'm not that person that's going to hide behind it. Like, I don't have no shame in it because I know how I live. So I don't have to be shamed.
Exactly. I know I keep the place clean, but you can't control if it hopped in a bag or even when you buy a grocery stuff, it could be in a box of crap. Like, bugs hide in stuff. So you have to be very vigilant. Otherwise.
And that's what the exterminator told me. He was like, we can look at it and see that he said, but that doesn't matter. Because of course, that's what I thought. Like, this happens to people who don't keep their homes up. And he's like, they don't care. He's like, I have exterminated mansions. They don't care. They are not, they ain't picky about the person. Trust me.
No.
So
just keep your head on swivel, everybody, because it's expensive. And when I got my house, I got it because the neighbor, they were walking over, and that's when I started realizing that roaches like water, so they were at the pipe, my outdoor pipe, because whatever. So and you can't fill every crack in the brick. Like, you can't fill everything. You try your best. You keep the place clean. You don't keep food around. But what I realized is, at that time, my cousin who was staying with me and who knew the rules about, cleanliness and put the garbage out. When I went into his room, Gina, when I went into his room, I couldn't believe I had to record a video, and I sent the video to my family, and they could see I was pissed. I'm talking multiple pizza. This is somebody who his job was to put the garbage to the bin. This is someone who, when he leaves the house, has to pass the garbage bin outside at the curb. Like that one. Like, I don't keep garbage in my house. People think I'm weird, but once it gets to a certain amount of stuff, it goes right outside, because at least the bugs will be outside. He had multiple pizza boxes. He had lunch containers that had remnants of food that never been washed. He had cereal, like multitudes of stuff. So when I called his mother now, because I had enough, and I was pissed. You had one thing to do: keep the garbage outside and keep the room clean. And he couldn't do it. And that just attracted all this stuff into the house. And I had to steam the mattress. I had to do this, that. I told him to basically move out at that point. And he had a certain amount of weeks to move out, and he moved out, and that was that. And I washed my hands because I ain't tolerating that in my house.
And that's me. Just recently, we had noticed getting crickets in our house, the black crickets. And my husband had killed one, and he was like, "That's like," well, I didn't even notice it was a thing because I hadn't seen them. But he was like, "That's like the 3rd or 4th one that I've killed." I was like, "Wait, what? Where?" And he's like, "In here." And I'm like, "How are they getting in? I don't know how they're getting in." I said, "Oh no, that can't be a thing. He knows how I am. I will wake him up out of a deep sleep to go kill a bug. Don't play with me. So I'm like, So we have that home defense spray.
Yeah. Me too. I got that now. Yeah.
Yep, we sprayed that, and then we haven't seen them anymore. But I don't. When I say I don't like, if they outside, they can live. Have your way. That's your home. But when you come into my house, you might as well have signed your death certificate because you're out. You cannot live. I don't want you in here. You didn't pay to be in here. Don't come up in here. I be angry. I be like how you was about your cousin with the pizza box.
It was gross. And I'm thinking, and then he's like, we had a talk to his mom. We had an argument, a very heated argument. He doesn't care anymore. I don't care if he doesn't care. You staying in my house, you follow. All he had to do was his room and his bathroom. That was it. The rest of the house I was doing. So his workload wasn't very big. Hey, sweet thumb.
Yep.
And hi, Erica. I saw you. And who else did I miss? Hey. I was waving because I was talking to Gina. And I don't have any tolerance for that. And especially when he was raised, his mother, I know his mother didn't raise him that way, but he felt he just didn't care. Since you don't care, get out. Because I cannot afford to be paying to have the house sprayed because of your nastiness.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I had the house sprayed. Like a big thing for me. And even that's dangerous because you have to leave the house for several hours because it's strong chemicals. And then it's like you're moving. You got to move everything, all your clothes, like the work that's involved because of your lazy behind. I said, no. I worked too hard to be working this hard, and I'm not even moving. I had to move everything, put them in the garage, spray the house, leave it empty for, so many hours, come back in, wipe everything again, put everything back, and be careful. And then when the guy came to spray, he's looking at my house like, do you even know what a roach looks like? I said, what are you talking about? He goes, there's no way you would have roaches here. Like he's looking at all the common spots. Your stove is clean, the cupboard, the vent, the grease thing, that. He's looking. He goes, do you know what a roach looks like? And I'm laughing like, what? He goes, maybe you're mistaken. Maybe you saw an ant. Maybe you saw a fly. Maybe you're mistaken. I said, no, I saw that. And I showed him, I go, it was this one. He goes, maybe it came from somebody or somewhere, or even like a box from the grocery store. He goes, I don't think, but he goes, since you saw the guy, the bedroom like that, fine, I'll spray. But, I don't think you have.
And they know because they do it so much. So they just like I said, they could tell you sometimes where something starts. They know when, whatever the bug may be, they know what's common to see when they go in to get them out. But that's why I won't bring plants in my house. I have 2 plants that they won't survive in Ohio outside. I'm like, if they don't survive in my garage, I don't know what to tell them because that's as close to my house as they're going to get.
Same with mine. They're going in the garage. I got their spot ready because he ain't coming in the house. I made that mistake already.
I'm okay with that, but you're not coming in my house.
I brought one plant in that was a leaf of life. Someone gave me a new one because mine died, and that's it. Nothing else is coming in the house.
I didn't even know till last night that the leaf of life needed to be in. It's a tropical plant.
Tropical.
Shani was telling me that because I was on her live yesterday.
So was I. Yeah, I was there too.
Yeah, and I was like, she was like, "What you gonna do about your leaf of life?" And I was like, "Girl, the garage. That's as close to my house as this."
Maybe you have to get like a little mini greenhouse plasticky thing.
I do have that. But it will be in the garage still or outside. It's not going to be in my house. Wherever it's going to be, it ain't going to be inside. Let's just say that.
Somebody brought, I'm going to water it with some mosquito bits water because that will kill any gnats in there. I had it at the front. I haven't seen any bugs. So I brought it further into the house. I'm going to water it with the mosquito bits. And then that's it. No other plants are coming because you already know what happened to my house. The gnats came in there, and it was a hot mess. So no more outside plants.
It's gonna have to be.
The trees are going into the garage, and that's
strong. It's gonna have to be a strong one. I'm gonna talk to it. I'm like, you doing a good job, but you're gonna have to live in this garage. Nothing is coming because I'm just like, I'm not even worried about the nets so much. If it's out, it's been outside this whole time. There's bugs in my soil. When I harvest, there's always bugs in there. There's crawlers with long crawlers with many legs. There's potato bugs. There's
And those earwigs are very crafty too. They hide in all the curls of the cake. Like, what are you doing in here? Like,
I'm
what?
not doing it. I'm not doing it. That's why I don't like to do the hydroponics so much. I rather have everything grow outside. That way I don't have to worry about nothing. Like just that's it. That's its natural habitat.
That's what I wanted. But then I'm like, okay, let me do hydroponics. You know, there's no bugs. Little did I know. I'm like, what are all these damn I was like, what the hell is this? Hey, PIA. Yep. I was so upset. I'm like, but then I realized when I'm watching other people's video, it happens all the time. And one person just goes, they just dip it in soapy water, they wash the plant, they wash the sponge, and they put the plant right back in the thing. I'm like, what?
I'm done with it.
They said aphids are a part of it.
I'm done with it. I'm done. Because somebody was asking me, I think it might have been TT, asking me, was I going to grow some stuff? And I said, I was like, that's not my thing. Growing outside is my thing. I'd rather grow anything outside, even in the winter. If it's something that somebody has a tip or trick or how, because I'm going to try to grow lettuce throughout the winter. And I saw someone with a tip on how to do that. Mm-hmm. It's going to have to, if it don't work, then oh well, but I'm going to try it. But it's not growing in my house. I don't even have house plants. I don't want none of it. No. I have a few
house plants because I was brainwashed, but then I realized, hell no. Once these die, they're being thrown out. I'm done.
I can't do it. I can't. I used to have them in my office at work, and I gave them all away. I was like, I can't, because I had nets flying when I was working, and I'm doing like this all day.
Trying to fly up your nostrils. I'm like, what's going on here? This is ridiculous. David said, bring the leaf of life inside, Gina. He says, bring it inside, Gina.
I am inside the garage. Look, you should have warned me. You sent it. You should have told me what the rules were, David.
Yes, I am done with I'm not bringing no new plants in I want a greenhouse, like a proper greenhouse. When I get a better piece of land where I can have it, semi-tropical plants in the greenhouse. They're not coming in the house.
I agree. I want something like how Broke has it set up, where he can actually put all his stuff that can't take the cold, and put a little heater in there for the days that it gets too cold. That's what I want, because then I would be able to make sure they're okay through the winter. Mm-hmm. But coming inside is not an option. It just isn't.
I asked my family, should we move to a warmer climate? And then they're like,
more bugs.
I said, why not? They're like, well, I go, what if we go like snowbirds? Like we leave for the winter and we come back in the summer. They're like, kind of maybe, but they're like, move and go where? Go to somewhere warmer where we don't have to deal with all this snow. We can grow like 10 months a year.
You know what you have to deal with in warmer climates?
I was surprised. I'm like, you don't want to go somewhere? Yeah, warmer climate.
In warmer climates, you got more bugs and they're bigger.
I guess so, yeah. And those circadians, those ones that make that noise, I don't.
This is a true story. When I went to Austin, Texas, I had to go for work. What was that, July? Mm-hmm. We went to this little, little pub, eatery place. It was, I forget what type of food it was. Scottish, Irish, something like that. The sausage, whoever eats the sauce, different kind of sausages with sauerkraut and all that. Anyway, we went there. We're talking at the table, and all of a sudden I hear something, and I look, and it's a bug scuttering across the floor. It is a cockroach. I'm not being funny. The roach was like this long. I'm not exaggerating. So I'm freaking out because everybody at the table is just having conversation and haven't noticed it. And I'm like, stop talking. There is a bug crawling across.
Yeah.
And so they're looking, and you can't see it because now it's crawled to like a place where it was kind of shadowed. It was kind of darker. And I have picked my feet up and put it up on the table.
The legs things?
Yes. The part that holds the table up. I have my feet on there because I'm like, it could not touch me. Okay. So then maybe about 2 minutes later, it must have moved. It started scuttering another way. And I saw my bosses, because my boss was sitting across from me. I saw his eyes get big, And I said, it moved, didn't it? And he said, I saw it. And
La
I was like,
cucaracha.
I told you it was big. Y'all think I'm extra. I am not being extra. That thing was big. Inside of it, and they had hardwood floors, so you could hear the feet of it.
Click, click, click.
Oh, when I tell
Did you
you,
hear her heels hitting the floor? No, you've gone too far. Why am I hearing your high heels on the floor?
I was a hot mess after that, because in my head now they're everywhere. It's not just in that restaurant; it's in my hotel. They're trying to get in my luggage and come back to Ohio.
I'm going to sleep and they're crawling on my face while I'm sleeping.
I cannot.
And I'm like, you have to sleep with like a mask on, like, some kind of something to cover your mouth so that they're not going.
I'm having problems right now just thinking about it. It's got me my whole body is tensing up. It's a whole.
So they don't want to move, so they're like, I think they want get a greenhouse. Like when we get our land, we'll get a proper, official greenhouse, like because they're growing marijuana here like nothing. So obviously you can grow here in the wintertime. So just get a proper greenhouse that you can have that kind of thing. And if there's bugs in there, the bugs fun are in there. You can spray, them, but whatever. Oh, Erica's saying, someone tell Gina to stop crying over the bugs.
I cannot. And people ask me all the time, like, how do you garden and you're scared of bugs? I'm like, because I have learned to, like, the ones that are, because it's outside, I talk to my bugs. So if I see a spider or a praying mantis, which I see a lot of those in my garden, I'm always like, okay, why are you visible? Because you know I don't want to see you, so I need you to move somewhere else where I don't see you. You're allowed in here because you're going to eat all the bad bugs.
Yeah.
But I don't want to see you, so do your job and be unseen. So then I leave the garden because I can't finish gardening because I've seen the bug now. So I have to come back later and hope that it's gone. Because I know they're there. It's not knowing that they're there that freaks me out. It's once I see them, I freak out.
I hate them too, but now I'm seeing mice because of the chickens, because they want the food. And I caught one. I threw one in there. I threw one in the coop for them to peck at, and they pecked at it, and I heard it crying for its life. I'm just turning into this I don't know, this, what you call it? What's that Australian guy, Crocodile Dundee? Because I ain't got no one to call. So I got to go and figure it out and, get my hammer and bop it myself. And I'm like, I'm scared, but I'm like, blap.
When you see the mice, it makes you understand why you see some homesteaders with so many cats or having a couple cats.
So they're like, get a cat. And then one girl was like, oh, don't poison them. It's going to be bad for the eco. Listen, I said, listen, wench, you told me that last time about these birds. I had some birds building a nest on my house. She made me feel guilty for knocking down the nest, so I let them build the nest. When I checked, it was two different birds. The robins came and moved in and made a mess all over. I said, I'm not listening to you again. Shut up with your ecosystem, whatever. She goes, well, if you poison them, then something might eat them. And I go, yeah, I get it. So I bought 2 traps. I don't know who's going to empty these traps, but someone's going to have to come over and empty these traps when they're full, because I am not dumping all these bodies in a bag and putting them in the garbage.
I'm going to tell you, another reason you don't want to poison them. The very first house I moved into, I was in my 20s. My daughter was only 2 going on 3, I think, at the time. My oldest daughter, who's now 27. So this was my first time. I moved out of my townhouse. We moved into an actual house. And I kept hearing something in the wall. And I thought a bird or something had gotten in somehow, because that's what it sounds like. So I called the landlord, and he's like, oh, no, maybe I called a family member. I don't think I called the landlord. I think I called my aunt or my mom or something. And they're like, that might be a mouse. And I'm like, oh, heck no. So I go to the store, and I buy the poison pellet things, and I put them, because I kept hearing the sound near my utility room. So I put them around in the utility room. So maybe a couple of days later, I'm getting ready for work, getting my daughter ready for school, for daycare. And I walk into the kitchen, and in my peripheral, I felt like I walked over something. Because I was like, why did I feel like I saw something when I took a step? So when I looked back, it was a dead mouse on the floor in the kitchen. So now I'm freaking out. Because I don't know how I'm going to get it out my house. So I take the broom, and I kind of like maneuvered. Like I'm literally standing all the way across the room, taking the broom, like trying to move it and get it close to the door so I could knock it out into the outside. Well, when I did tell my landlord about it. He was like, "Oh, you should never put poison down." And I was like, "Why?" And he said, "Because they can die anywhere. It could have died in your walls, and you would have smelt it, but never found it." And I was like,
That
"I
has
didn't think
happened.
about that.
Oh, it happened
I
in
didn't
Jamaica.
think
It was so
about it.
stink. It was
It
so
didn't
stink.
happen, but it could. It could happen. They can die somewhere that you will know it's there because you will smell it, but you'll never find it. It didn't
Rumbling
happen.
slowly. Yep.
It made me think about it after he said that, like, okay, if I ever have this problem again. But the reason I had it got in the house in the first place. You know how you have your dryer vent that goes to the outside of the house?
Yeah.
I had it covered, and I didn't have a washer and dryer in yet because I hadn't been in the house that long. And I was moving from a townhouse where I didn't have a washer and dryer, so I had to purchase those things. So it took a while. You just like.
Yeah.
But when I didn't know to cover that, and so once I found out that I did cover it until I got a washer and dryer, I never had that problem again. But I was
they
like,
can get through any crack the size of a quarter because I've seen them flatten their body. I sat outside and watched them one day because they're literally blind as a bat. They don't see you. Now you know 3 blind mice. That's literally they're blind as a bat. And I watched them, and I could see that little mouse was just climbing. He could grab onto anything, and it would and hold himself up and pull. So like plastic buckets, anything with a slight grip that they can get their. So I'm like, okay, this is how they get around. So now to figure out how to outsmart them. So now they're in the chicken coop, in the inner coop, living underneath the wood.
Yep.
Because they can flatten themselves and go under there. And I see him like he's moved in with the chickens. I'm like, he got to go.
And so also stay on top of those neighbors.
He gone.
That's what you do.
I got my brick ready along with a handle so I can just bop him from a distance. And then he got to go.
Yep. And with those neighbors who don't keep their grass trimmed, like if it's just a little high, that's different. But when they have the grass is getting like a foot high all the time.
Mine is 3 feet. My neighbor's nasty.
They own them folks because that's where they will live in that. And then when they finally cut it, those mice are going to go places.
Yep.
Like, trust me, I have lived.
I told them that last year too. I talked to him and said, listen, I'm seeing a lot of mice. Can you please mow your lawn? This year I didn't really talk to him about it, but it's like, it's the same topic every season. Mow your damn lawn. And then now I have chickens and it's like, so I'm just putting traps around. I'm spraying the place. I have this special spray to kind of deter them, like a cedar spray. I don't keep food out for the chickens at night anymore. They eat their daily ration and that's it. But I'm seeing droppings. So I put some pepper around the place to avoid the poison. But I have to get some traps. But I don't know who's going to empty. As I said, who's emptying these traps?
Exactly. Sammy Joe, I didn't. You know what? I would just throw the whole thing away if it was me. I'm not kidding. But Sammy Joe, I do that all. The funny thing is, you caught it in a video. You saw it in the video. I do that all.
Yeah,
and not all the time because I'm not going to say every time I go in my garden I see bugs. I don't. But whenever I do, that happens. I'm going to be talking to them. I'm literally talking to them like they understand what I'm saying because I feel like it needs to be said.
She's saying something under her house, didn't know what it was. It died, and that smells horrific. Yeah, we had, I think it was a possum that went under one of the rental. I'm like, what's that stink? We had put poison out, lots of poison. We put boxes of poison. We were just pouring it out, and then I think it was a possum. That wasn't a mouse, and it was stink.
That's the problem with poison, and I didn't know that. I haven't experienced giving poison to something and that happening. But that's because I don't use poison. After my landlord told me that was back in probably that would have been the late 90s, actually. And I was at that point, I said, I'll never use poison because not knowing where something is just as bad as knowing that it was there.
David's recommending some poison. I think David also had a bucket trap. I know he did a bucket trap, right? Because I think I saw he did a video and he had them in a bucket, falling in the bucket. But then someone has to empty the bucket too. So I'm gonna try the bucket that trap that David had done too, because I think
Oh, so they kind of they get in there
they
somehow, but they
walk
can't
on a
get out.
little ramp and then they fall and then they can't get out. I think he
Yeah,
drowns
that's
now.
similar to those squirrel. That's the only reason why I thought that might be what it was, because I know
Yeah.
they got a squirrel trap that's like that. I almost bought the squirrel. I think it's a squirrel trap. I almost bought the squirrel one. Um, when I was, because I used to have last year, I had a big problem with the squirrels. This year it wasn't so bad, but now
Hmm.
they're digging again. So they're getting ready for winter. So they're starting to dig
Yep.
in my fresh,
All my pots. Yep.
freshly tilled up soil that I planted my brassicas in. I
Yep.
went out yesterday and I had holes every. I was so mad, so mad.
I went out with a stick and some rocks. People think I'm joking. I said, all right, I'm gonna catch you. And I sat there and I got three of them good. And one of them I just missed with the stick. I threw it like a boomerang. And now when they see me, they run. They know. Don't play with my. And I hear the chickens going, "Arr," like they're telling them, like, "Arr, arr, 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 arr," over there, like over there. And then they're at the fence watching me, and they're watching me, watching me.
Yeah, yeah,
This is like turning into an
yeah.
animal, whatever you call that book, with that
Yeah.
damn pig. What's that book with that pig?
Listen, they will
Farm, that
drive you
farm.
nuts. Oh, you talking about Charlotte's Web?
No, the other one with the farm, and they're all like animals, and they all had a hierarchy. What's that book we had to read?
Ah,
Oh, Animal Farm. Is it Animal something?
I don't know.
There's a book we had to read, but I did read Charlotte's Web as well. And it was, anyways, it was like each animal had a hierarchy, and it was like basically a little society. That's how I feel. The chickens are tailors, the squirrels are the whatever. I'm the
The antagonist. The squirrels are the
yeah.
antagonists.
Oh my goodness. But they're digging up my pots. They're digging, and I put the spikes there. They're moving the spikes. They're throwing my
They
tags
are
out the pots.
disrespectful. And I know they're not doing it to destroy. They're trying to bury their food that they're going to they're going to come back. That's the part that pisses me off. Because if they've dug holes, they probably have buried something there that they're going to be coming back to look for. Even if you find it and get it out of your garden, they're still going to come back and look
they're
for
dumb.
it.
They're dumb because the pots that we have are gonna freeze solid. You ain't gonna dig nothing in the winter. It's frozen solid. So even if you came back for that acorn, because I saw an acorn, you're not gonna get it out the pot. Then they had the nerve to bury an Oreo cookie in my backyard. Who's coming back for an Oreo cookie? I went into my mustard green pot, and there was literally an Oreo cookie.
Hilarious.
And I did a video, but then I put the music on, and then it was just ruined the video. So, anyways, I should put that you should see the visual. And I'm taking on an Oreo cookie, and I was livid because I had planted my garlics and stuff, and they dig up my stuff for an Oreo cookie.
Yep.
Then you wonder why there's so much stuff in your soil. Yeah, the damn squirrels. Morning, 10.
8-10. Yeah, they are horrible.
Cookie.
They use.
And then my neighborhood has a lot of a certain culture of people, and they like to throw out their bread and their flatbreads and their naans and stuff. And then literally you'll see on your windowsill like whole pieces of bread, naans and all kind of stuff crammed into your windowsill. So you're opening the window and it's like I have to go get a stick and a ladder to go take out the bread. Like even dough. Like where is this coming from?
Who's cramming it? The squirrel? Who crams it into the window?
Yeah, because he wanted to shove it right into the corner so he could come back for it later. So he shoved it right into the corner. I had to go and get out this dough, the sticky bun dough. And like it's like, and then people are literally feeding. I walk for my walks in the morning, and people have like seeds on their front lawn and bread for these squirrels to eat. But they still come to my garden and think they should come over to my house when I don't want you there.
No, I don't feed my squirrels. I do feed the birds. I don't do the bread though. I buy the bird feed, but I have caught squirrels eating out of the feeder. So it's the little dome feeder thing with the tray. And I have caught squirrels eating out of it, but the birds come in so much that the squirrels won't bother it unless nobody's over there.
They always looking for food because I know Mike's chaotic. His squirrel feeder is always being tampered with. He gets them on video looking at him like, yeah, you try to stop me now? Crunch, 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 crunch while they're eating the food, looking at you like, whatever.
Yep.
They're so rude.
But my birds are picky, so I buy the bird feed, and it has like the sunflower seeds and nuts and all that, and it has corn kernels in it too. I noticed that I always see corn kernels in my mulch underneath the feeder,
Yeah,
and I be looking like I'm not putting any more food in there until everything's gone. So
that's how I am. That's exactly how I am. You're gonna eat it all.
You can be picky if you want to, but they eat all the other stuff first, and sometimes they'll eat either them or the squirrels are coming back and getting the corn. Because until all that corn is gone. But what irritates me is sometimes the corn gets down into my mulch, and then I'll see an actual corn. Well, I had to pick at least 3 or 4 of them out of there this year. I was like, I got dang old corn growing in my dang old.
That's how I had sunflowers growing that I didn't plant. They ate my sunflowers. Then they planted 5 new ones for me, and then they came back to eat those ones too. I'm like, hold on a second, you're not eating them twice. Like these things are. Then they're digging up my carrots, which I should have harvested. I didn't harvest my own damn carrots. So I'm gonna go and do that soon because my carrots are looking very, very good. Hold on, let me go back. What was that saying? That's how we even
killed it with.
Hold on, let me go back to the beginning. Hold on. She's telling David about this rat. Hold on. Me too, David. I really hate rats. The biggest one I ever seen was in Louisiana about 38 years ago. It was so huge that somehow it got into the rental house I was in, got on top of the countertop, and carried off a loaf of bread. This is part 2. It carried off a loaf of bread. Then she went down and says, that's how we knew it came in. I saw the bread bag half out the hole and it was going in and out of it. I blocked the hole after my husband died.
I am freaking out. Like that was
killed it with a GUN, if you can imagine that. What?
I can imagine it. And no, ma'am. Oh my cow.
And took the loaf of bread. It came and did shopping and walked out with a loaf of bread. That wasn't a rat. That was a possum or something. That was stupid. Or a groundhog.
I cannot deal. Like, Lord, you know what I can handle. Please don't ever.
I can't handle that. When I had to watch
Please don't ever.
When I had to watch the Bull's Garden, when he got that rat trap and he was talking about the rat, and then he had the rat in his hand in a bag and he's like talking with his hand like, yeah. I'm like, can you put the bag down with the rat, please, and talk to us without me seeing that it jerking in the bag? So I put it in the comment. He was laughing. I'm like, please put the bag down. Put the bag down because I can't take it.
I can't deal.
That wasn't a rat. That was a whole child, an 8-pound child.
I can't deal. Just don't make it nothing more than squirrels for me, please, Lord.
Hey, Miss Cheryl.
Hey, Miss Cheryl.
Oh,
I would just fuss at the squirrels because I cannot.
I know in Jamaica, the rats, when they're hungry, they'll eat your bars of soap. Because people don't really have that much food. Like in the poorer areas, there's not really food lying around, but they'll eat your bars of soap. I've
actually, in person, never seen a rat. I've never been to place. Well, I've been to Louisiana, but I didn't see anyone that was there. Now, mind you, I was in New Orleans, and I was near where a lot of people. I was there for a festival, so there was a lot of people. So probably they don't want to be out when there's a lot of commotion going on. I didn't even know that was a thing in Louisiana. I've only ever heard of New York having them like that.
Yeah,
I'm sure there are other people, but I just always have heard about New York having them like that. I've never been to New York, and that's why I won't go, because I'm like, I can't. I cannot.
I think once you have a subway system, because even over here, when you're waiting for the train to come, back in the day, when I was waiting for the train, you look down into the tracks and you see a big old rat taking, people would throw food down or throw their garbage down there, and you'll see them walking off with a big old bag of what is happening here? And they walk in packs. And they never get killed by the train. They always know when to move. I guess they can feel the vibrations that the train's coming, and they move out the way and they have their little spot. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
I can't.
Ridiculous. And I can't stand the chewing. When you're trying to, you're sitting down somewhere quiet and you're...
you can hear them?
Oh my God, it's so annoying.
No, ma'am. No,
this constant chewing.
Oh man. See, my husband be like, when we go on vacations to different states, he's always like, "Oh, I can see myself living here." Every state we go to, he can see himself living there. I can see myself going back home. You know why? Because I know what to expect when I get home. I don't know what these other states have in store for me if I
You're
was to
probably
live
right.
there.
With them water bugs that are really cockroaches, and then they had
Oh,
those what's the one that Erica had? They had a festival for the gnats or the flies or some kind of bugs. They had a festival. Remember, mentioned they had a festival for the bug.
I'm not here
I
for it.
can't
I don't even
remember.
remember.
She got to type that in the chat. They had a festival for this particular bug, and I'm like, who has a festival for a bug? The gnats or some kind of something. She got to type that in the chat. I was like, this has gone too far now. This has really gone too far.
I can't do it because I like I said, I know what to expect here. And sometimes I see stuff here that I'd be like, where did you come from? Because I've never seen this particular bug. We get cicadas here. I don't like them. Typically, I don't know that they're not in my neighborhood, but I've never seen them in my area. But I remember when they came out one year and my mom was in the hospital and they were everywhere. And my same daughter, the one that's 27 now, she might have been like 5 or 6 then, she would not move. And I had to get in the hospital to check on my mom. So I had to carry her and just have her put her face into my body so she didn't see them. But I was freaking out because they're flying everywhere. And they're loud.
Oh, they're loud. I've seen them in people's videos, like this loud screeching, almost like I don't know, like a Dracula feeling, like it's like a Dracula thing almost. I'm like, ugh.
The only time I've been brave with bugs is when it's dealing with my kids. And I tell people that my fear is that a bug is going to touch my children when they're sleeping. So it's either them or my kids, and I will kill the bug that time. Unless if my husband isn't around. But if my husband is around, he's gonna have to kill it. But if he's not, I will kill a bug because the thought of a bug crawling on my babies. I don't care how old they are; they still my babies. They can't crawl on my kids, and they gotta die.
Oh my gosh. I'm seeing a lot of new bugs lately in the garden because I guess they know I'm growing food. Like I saw a squash bug for the first time.
Oh,
and I guess it jumped into my room. Billy's saying they have gnat day. Who the hell has gnat?
No.
That's the most ridiculous. I think these people are smoking something. They're puff passing. I don't know how you celebrate gnats.
Billy, has Alex started yet?
Oh, he has a track meet today?
He runs cross country. But yes, he has a meet today.
A track meet today? Okay. That's gone too. But I guess they have so many gnats, they have to celebrate it.
No, ma'am. Let's celebrate in death. You know what? When I was in Austin, apparently they have a lot of mosquitoes there. And they also have a lot of bats. So the bats eat the mosquitoes.
Yeah.
The upside is that the only time you see the bats is at night, and you only see them across the sky as they're flying wherever they go.
I got two
they go
bats
somewhere
here.
at night.
And
we have them here, but I didn't know we had them until one got on my house. It wasn't in my house. It was on my house. It was on my house. It's on my Instagram. If you scroll through
I think I remember that video. I think I saw that.
I don't remember if I did a video, but I might have.
I have two here, but they live in the tree. So one of the trees back there. I didn't see them this season as often. I thought they were gone. And then I had all these flies because the chicken manure. And I heard one night, I heard that click, 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 click. And that's their eco navigation thing. Like they're clicking to see where it lands. Yeah. And I guess I have the run now, so that's different. So they had to be like relocating where everything is. And I'm telling you, the flies went down in 24 hours. They just were eating flies. And now I see them
I forget how much they say they can eat. It's a lot.
A lot per hour. Like they're just I'm like, okay. So now hopefully they know to come back next spring. Like, stay here. Like, your services are welcome.
Exactly. The one that I had that was on my house, I think was sick. So it wasn't, it was literally on my house for like 4 days. And by the 4th day, I'm like, so I was calling places to see, like, you have to call special, the people who come and get like raccoons and stuff, those are the people you have to call to come and get something like a bat. Because when I called the like animal people. They was like, we don't do that.
No,
And it
no.
was going to cost me like $200 to come for them to come get it. I was like, it's worth every penny. But my coworker, who's an outdoorsy guy, he does the hunting and all that stuff. He's like, no, you're not paying $200 for that. I'll come get it. I said, you better come get it. I'm not playing. He's like, I'll come. I'll come right after work today. I'll come over and get it. And he did. He came with a box and he
Mm-hmm.
had some gloves on and he just put the box over it onto my house, and he kind of like moved the box to kind of get it to go in it, and then he just closed it up and he left and took it. He said he took it to his house and let it out, because he has like 2 or 3 acres of land, and
Mm-hmm.
he let it out on the land. He said, and he next time he looked, he didn't see it. He said he let it out by a tree. He said it must have went up in a tree or something. He didn't see it no more.
Yeah, they'll find their own place to live.
I was like,
There's
well, as long as
Billy
you get
saying
it
they
away
have
from my
festivals
house.
of grits and peacock. What? And he said they're still driving, so I guess they're still on their way to the meet.
Oh yeah, because it was like 2 hours. It was 2 hours.
Yeah,
I think they told me about a couple hours ago.
yeah. You got to pay because even over here, the raccoon. A lot of people were angry because it cost them several $1,000s because
It
if
does. I haven't had
they
raccoons,
damage
but
your
I heard about it.
shingles, you got to pay to redo the shingles or whatever siding yourself. They're not taking the raccoon until the raccoons finish nesting and the babies are ready to
Yep.
leave. I
Yep.
think most people, yeah. So they have to wait for the babies to be paraded down the street. Raccoons are the most obnoxious animals I've ever encountered. They have to parade the babies on the street. They have when their babies are like of age, the mother will walk
Mhm.
down and parade her babies to show
See.
how beautiful her babies are. That's when you can close the hole and lock them
Not
out.
how beautiful they are.
These damn
Hilarious.
bandits. Yeah, they're very boasty animals. So you have to wait
Mhm.
over here legally because anything else is illegal. So when the man dropped off
Yeah.
the raccoon in front of our houses at that time, that was illegal. You're not supposed to just relocate them and made it my problem. So
Yep.
this if I had ever catch that man, I swear to God.
Yep.
Anyways, I won't even go there. Him and his ugly wife coming dropping off animals in front of my house and making it my problem. Drop it off
Mhm.
at a golf course. Go somewhere else where they have land and space. Oh no, no,
Exactly.
no. I'm gonna put it right here.
I tell you,
Because if they move into your house, that's an expensive removal.
it
I
is.
think one lady sent me the bill, like a copy of the PDF, and it was $3,000.
It's expensive. Like I said, I haven't had that problem, but I know people who have, and
Hmm.
they said it was expensive.
And nobody has that kind of money dangling around to use on a
Mm-mm.
raccoon. Like, really, you want to put it on something more productive and that's going to benefit you. That is
Yep.
horrible to do that. Yeah,
And
they left the
and
raccoon at my house. I couldn't
yep.
pay for these stories. I'm telling you, people think I'm lying. The people them drop off the raccoon. I'm here working. I heard my neighbor yelling at somebody. I ran to the window and then I didn't carry my phone with me because if I did, I could at least got their plate number while they were driving off like two bandits. Then I went to
Mhm.
the back. He told me what they did. I ran to my back window and I saw the fattest raccoon. That probably was obese Denise. That's when she moved into and then she became my problem.
Obese Denise.
Yep, she was fat. I'm talking fat. She was the size of a toddler. No word of a lie. She probably was pregnant too. Um,
Probably was.
I had two raccoons kill my meat for
That
65 of my
happened.
meat for hens. Oh yeah, I don't play around. They will destroy your life. No, I'm not. I didn't. My girls have names. I have six hens. Those are my pets. So you touch them, it's gonna be a problem.
Mhm.
We gonna have even though we fight amongst ourselves, but if you come in, it's gonna be a problem.
Right.
So I haven't seen. I've only seen when I saw the skunk twice. I showed that you guys last week. I shared with you guys, but I saw more holes in my front lawn. So the skunk is coming back. I guess I have grubs in my lawn because they be digging up my
Mm.
lawn. Like I can't have a good lawn. I've tried
Yeah.
for years and they just keep digging it up. So I think next year I'm just gonna literally plant squash in the front lawn and just let the squash run all over the lawn.
Yeah. I didn't know
I had
skunks
it up.
eat grubs, but I've never had a skunk issue either.
I found a grub in one of my It wasn't the pot. I was moving the pots and I saw a grub and I threw it to the chickens and and the worms and they inhaled that. But there
Mhm.
must be something going on because my pots seem to
Yeah.
have what bug does grubs though? It's a butterfly, right? Is it a moth?
No, it's a beetle, and we
So
get
I
them. I have. It's a beetle.
so I have to
So,
see like maybe I've
so
seen the beetle and I don't
yeah,
realize that it's that.
because they
And
say the Japanese beetle has does the growth.
oh,
I
it's
think it's more than that one because I get June, what we call June bugs, which is the brown beetles. That
mhm.
kind of they don't do. They're harmless, but they are annoying. They just fly around. They knock up against stuff. They're like really hard shelled. But I had grubs last year in my potato bed, like all in it. When
Mhm.
I went to harvest them, I just saw grubs everywhere, and I was like, they're gross. Grubs are gross. So I treated my yard over the winter. I did it again in the spring with milky spores, and
Mhm.
I only saw one beetle, and I didn't see any grubs.
Okay, I'm gonna have to do something because this is a been a chronic problem, and I haven't
Your
seen
your
grubs
chickens
per.
would take care of them. I
Well,
mean, if
they're
you,
just catch
I
them and
don't
put
know
them
if
in
you
there.
could let them out and like
I
kind of
could let them out
graze.
in the back. I could
Okay.
like I'm gonna build a little box and just kind of move them around other spots so they can't fly
Mhm.
off, and let
Yeah,
them
they'll
peck in
take
those
care of
little
those grubs.
areas, and then yeah, because they get
Yeah,
a
they
little too
like them.
bossy, but they'll eat all that stuff down. They will. So
Mhm.
maybe I should,
Mhm.
you know. And it seems like
Yeah.
other people have chickens or they had, I heard a rooster. So I don't think they're gonna really rat me out. So it should be. Oh,
Right.
thanks, African Dreaming. He's in the bushes.
Hey, fam.
Oh, take care,
I gotta
Lulu. Thanks
watch.
for popping in.
I gotta watch the replay. I saw they did a Friday phase. I yesterday I was my last day of my work week for, and because I'm off next week, so I was like trying to get a bunch of stuff done, so I didn't get to even listen in while
Mm.
I was working. So I have to go back and listen to that, watch that replay. I don't know
I've
who
been
the
missing
phase
because
was.
there's a lot of yeah, the work is like busy because we're going into our busy time, the holidays, and then like
Yeah.
usually we're busy after the prime days and the
Oh yeah.
so it's just like
Yeah.
so we were busy then. So everyone's just busy. I've been, running around getting stuff done. So I haven't been
Yeah.
in all the lives.
Yeah. Yeah. I missed
But
quite a
usually in
few
the
of them.
evening, I'm like, you and Erica in the evenings, I sit down and I watch, or I'm doing something and I'm listening to you guys, and then
Yeah.
yeah, Monday, the My Fly Family Live.
Hmm.
Were you in the was it Wednesdays RGG's live? Was it Wednesdays live with a
I
speaker with a
was.
guest?
He went. Was that when Steve, the guy who was telling his story, was there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I came in late,
Child, I
but
was there
I
the
was
whole.
there for some of the I don't know what happened. I don't want to go into it detail, but it was a little off. It was a little
Uh,
bit off.
Child, look, I was blowing up Erica's phone. Like, listen, this is lightweight disrespectful.
And then I saw
Felt
Siege say
yeah,
like buy insurance. Like that's what insurance is for. Like buy
yeah,
insurance for that stuff.
yeah.
They're not going to cover like what you're asking them to do is not what they're like. So I'm like, I know I
They
missed
were
something.
almost attacking him, and he just came to share his story. He's part of a organization that they were really attacking the organization,
Yeah, the
but they
organization.
were their lashes were the verbiage was coming off as an attack to him, and he's just part of that organization. But like Steve said, and she wasn't the only one who said that. Some people in the chat were saying that like y'all are pretty much it's like if they're not doing the one thing you feel like needs to happen for your state for you to have whatever you feel like you need to have, they are no good. And it's like that's not the purpose here. Look at the broader picture.
Yeah, yeah.
um but yeah, it kind of did get out of hand. But yeah, her and I were talking about that because I was like,
Yeah,
I
I
I
didn't.
was
I have
almost
to go back
upset.
and watch it because I didn't hear his story, but it sounded very like the title
It
sounded
was
very
good.
interesting.
No, it was
So
a very
but
good
it's like
story.
it took away like whatever happened
Yeah,
to me, even though I didn't watch it all, it took away from his story. I can tell. I'm like,
it did.
okay. What the
It
hell's going
did,
on here?
and it was
Really?
a good story. Yeah, I mean, not when I say good story, guys. Too, if you go back and watch it, if you weren't in RGG's, who is a regular gun guy, if you weren't in his live and you don't follow him already, and you want to go check it out. Um, the the story of what happened was not good because but it just showed how he handled the situation because it was
Mm-hmm.
a situation of a shooter, an active shooter.
Mm-hmm.
So he tells the story of what happened with that, and just hearing him tell the story, the way he told it, it definitely is worth listening. It's a good listen. And I respected so much in how he told the story because he used names. He didn't just use like this person, that person. You knew who these people were. Especially if you had already heard the story and knew about the story itself, it may not
Mm-hmm.
just know it from his point of view. But yeah, it took away from it, and I was like, it was unnecessary. I felt it
I don't
was.
know.
I mean,
I don't know what motivates people sometimes. It's like you don't want
yeah,
to be too harsh because sometimes people have a bad day or something's just
yeah,
going on and they're a little off in
yeah,
their personal life. So but you're just like wondering like what was your motivation? Like it wasn't the
yeah.
time or place. You could have sent the message privately saying, you know what, I don't think that's a good
And
group or
there's a way to say that something you don't like something without being disrespectful in the way you say it. Like
yeah.
I didn't have a problem in the fact that people had questions or concerns, want to bring people to task on some of those questions and concerns, but be respectful in how you do it. And I felt like it got a little disrespectful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt that awkward silence
Mhm.
and I wasn't even really physically
Yeah.
there or there from the beginning. So I was just
Yeah.
like, ah, because I
Yeah.
think like to me, like he got a good guess to bring in a different perspective, a
Yeah.
good story, a firsthand account of something that happened to them. I think we could at least just listen and forget the other rhetoric.
Yep.
But sometimes people forget, and maybe they're just too familiar with you, like they're too familiar with you know your platform, and they think they
Yeah.
can come at all times with some of this stuff. It's like today's not the time or place for that. Normally yes, but
Yeah.
not today.
Yeah. And
Not
to
today.
call one person to task for organization is just a lot. you know.
Yeah.
I mean, but we do that. So that's just part of being, I guess, human because we do that on all levels. Like he was part of an organization. We call our president to task for everything that happens with the government, but he doesn't have all the powers. So I think that that's just what we do as
Right.
people. We target one person and we attack that person, but it's not. I don't know. It was. I didn't like the way it goes. There's nothing wrong with calling people to task and addressing
Mhm.
a issue, but just be respectful. Just be respectful because you don't want to be disrespected. As soon as somebody says something that you take it disrespect, now you up in arms. It's like,
I'm telling you, it just takes one little, and before you know it, people up there beefing and caring, and it could just turn to total chaos. So it's just you have to be very careful, I guess, who you even allow to even open up that door
you
because
do,
it can go left real quick.
and
And we all
people,
can do that because sometimes we're all sometimes in a foul mood or sugars, like
yes,
whatever. It could be any of us. Could even be me. But
yes,
you have to just know, okay, you know what? Let's just exit
yes,
right now and just say, talk about this after
exactly.
hours.
And people sometimes can consider themselves just passionate about that thing. And the reason I know that is because my husband was like that. That was
Hmm.
one of our, like, we bumped heads on that early in our relationship. I didn't like the tone sometimes he would take with things, and he would not be. His saying, he was like, "I'm not attacking you. I'm just saying blah blah blah." But I feel attacked, and if I
Right,
feel
right,
attacked,
right.
I now have to attack back. And now we're beefing when it didn't have to happen. If you would have just changed your tone and how you addressed whatever you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a serious.
So,
Like that is across the board. Like it's not what
hmm
you say, it's how you say it. And
it's how you say
sometimes,
it.
like me, I'm just being a matter of fact. No, you're coming. I'm like, where are you getting all these feelings from? From just a little like, and it's like a whole thing. And you have to be conscious of how people are receiving you because you don't mean
Hmm
anything by it, but they are
Yes,
taking all these other emotions and saying, well, you're
yes,
disrespecting and being condescending and dismissive
yes,
and blah 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 blah. And I'm like,
yes,
what? Where we get all this from?
yes,
Or even I don't like when people do dismissive. Oh, I'm not. Oh, yes, you are. But I come
yep,
back with a factual. I said this and you said this to
yep,
mitigate and dismiss what I said. And then
yeah,
they, oh, but now you're silent because now I called it out. So now you're upset. But,
yeah,
you know, you have to be conscientious. But sometimes I don't know what
yeah.
happened. It seems like I'm telling you,
It
those
definitely got uncomfortable in there, and I got uncomfortable, so I know what you mean. And I was there the whole time.
the whole time, that awkward silence. And I'm like,
Hmm
oh Lord, please don't. I'm like,
Yeah,
I must be like, Lord, please don't make it go left. Please don't make it go left.
I think eventually I don't think I don't remember finishing that live, but I might have. I don't remember though, so I might have tapped out before it ended. But I
I
saw
think
all
I
the other
did because
stuff.
they were
Mhm.
talking a bit more.
Mhm.
No, I think I did go to the end because the guest did a closing statement and
Oh, so
something.
I didn't see
He
that.
said something. Yeah, he like us, whatever. He said a closing statement thing. So I did say because I missed the beginning. I definitely missed the beginning, and I
Yeah,
haven't gone back to
it's
watch it
definitely
yet.
worth going back to watch. I thought it was a story worth hearing.
Well, we've
Definitely.
always heard pure negative stories, so it's kind of nice to hear. So
Mhm.
I don't know if you heard what happened over here. There was a couple who was hiking or camping in our provincial parks. They went on like a
Mhm.
week or 2 week long trip. They're not they're experienced, outdoors people,
Yeah.
and they had a satellite phone. They were checking in with their family daily, even twice a day, say, we're at this spot now, we're good, we're okay, we're camping out for the night. And there was constant communication. So they knew exactly where they were location wise all the time. And a bear attacked and they sent an SOS out on their satellite phone. The phone company called their emergency contact and said bear attack bad. They get they couldn't fly to the spot. They had to drive, which took hours. Get there, obviously they weren't around and the dog was also gone. The bear was
Mhm.
still there. I guess the bear, and then they saw 2 bottles of bear spray that
Mm.
obviously didn't subdue or do nothing to the bear, and that was that. So
Yeah.
they did everything correctly, everything right, and this
Mhm.
park staff had to discharge their weapon and take the bear out. That's when
Mhm.
I found out because I'm following this firearms group in Canada now that I'm doing that, and they said, yeah, you're not allowed to carry in a provincial park. I said,
Mhm.
what? I'm like, what? You're in a provincial park with lions, tigers, and bears, pretty much. Like you're in those remote areas where you're going to see these wild animals. The park took
Mhm.
hours to drive and find them because of where
Mhm.
they were and the road, and they had to take the long way around. So by the time they got to you think your little pepper spray is going to do anything for that bear?
Yeah.
They took out your dog. They took out, So I was like, so they're fighting. It's like, no, if you're in a provincial park, you should be allowed to carry, and it shouldn't be your first resort. But
Yeah.
if you try the spray, you try the horn, you've tried the other things, and they're still coming at you, you need to take out your Mossberg and spray
Yeah.
because you can't stop a bear.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was like, the poor couple. So they, the family, they're not overly upset because they did what they were allowed to do. They were experienced, but the bear just was in a foul mood, I guess, that day. They're supposed to be
Mhm.
kind of fattening up before they go into their hibernation. So
Mhm.
for some reason, I guess the bear just got flared up and it wouldn't leave.
Right.
And I'm like, man, this I'm Canadian. It's a yeah. You okay? Yeah, okay. We're both Canadian. Yeah, I didn't know that you could not carry in a provincial park. I know you can't carry. I understand, but it's like a hunting. I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, didn't I'm learning more, but that's a dumb law. If the
Yeah.
staff can't get to you in a reasonable time frame, and they had to fire their rifle on the bear, shouldn't
Yeah.
the people who are licensed and responsible be allowed to go through the park and protect themselves if needed?
Right.
So
Agreed.
that's what's happening over here in the provincial parks. But yeah, there's a lot of things that just don't make a lot of sense. I think I
Right.
probably would. It depends on the fine though, because some fines are really not worth it. But depending on how much the fine would have been if I was caught carrying, I probably allegedly might have something, because I don't think it's the risk is really worth it. If I can afford to pay the fine, I probably would just well would risk it,
Yeah.
because I don't think I'm going into the middle of nowhere where I have to have a satellite phone to even communicate with my family. I don't think
Yeah.
it's gonna, yeah.
Every time you say allegedly, it makes me laugh because I remember in Miss Shirley's live Thursday night. That was when you were doing the rocks and the stick, and you were like allegedly.
People will say, "Oh, you're."
Allegedly.
People will come with PETA on you, come to your door about your, abusing animals. You come here and deal with this raccoon
Child,
then, since you know so much. Since you know so much,
child, they
you come here and
definitely
deal with
did.
this thing. They got a
They
lot of.
definitely
They got a
did.
lot of. One lady was removing a raccoon from her chicken run. She went into the run. She left the door open, and she was just going to close the door. And something told her, "Look in the run before you lock." Because what would have happened is she would have locked the door. The chickens
Mhm.
would come out in the morning. The automatic door would open. They would go into the run and be killed
Yep.
by the raccoon. So she
Yep.
showed the raccoon hiding in one of the rafters, and she didn't show anything bad, but she was going to say, okay, we're going to take it out of the run, remove it, but we're not going to hurt
Mhm.
it, because she don't
Mhm.
believe in that. People still took her and gave her harassment. Don't tell me what to do with my animals. If my
Listen.
animals are unsafe because of a predator, don't tell me nothing.
Listen.
You have
I
no business
posted
telling me that I must preserve that raccoon and not preserve my
exactly.
25, 50, 62 chickens. Sorry.
Exactly.
Miss me with that. Miss
Last
me with
year,
that.
I posted a short of uh, a slug that I had put salt on.
Mhm.
And when I tell you, still to this day, I get comments on that short. Why would you do that? That's going to kill it. Do you think that I didn't
That's the
know
point.
salt was going to? Are you serious right now?
Do you see my strawberry bed and how many strawberries are missing? What do you think happens? What do you think we're doing over here growing food? Do you think they all get to live? Do you think all the squash
Uh,
box bugs are just there living their best life? No, they're getting squished and smashed. That's the whole
that
point.
part.
And I'm like,
They be coming all the time. I be like, y'all can. You know what? You could have kept scrolling. You could have.
no, you stopped, you typed a whole essay with your two fingers, or maybe your whole keyboard, to tell me. I said, listen, let's delete. I just delete it.
I think that is my highest viewed short. I can't remember, but I think it was. I think it's in the like 10K or something. Like it's ridiculous.
It triggers
It is so
people.
triggering. It's a slug.
I'm like, people don't get it. And I bet, you know what? Send all the bed bugs and the roaches to those people's houses. Since they want
Those
everything to
people.
live, let them go over there. Hold on. So
I
let
bet
me
you they
reply to
won't let
this.
it live.
Hold on.
Mm-mm.
She's asking me if I want a watermelon. I'm saying yes, because we can't even find no more
Oh
watermelons.
yeah.
And honey, it's $8.99. Okay, get me one. Yeah, get me one. Cause I like my watermelon juice. But yeah, send all the bed
Yeah.
bugs to their house, since everything got a right to live. Because I'm pretty sure
Everything
those
that they
people
want to live.
have lots of raid and lots of sprays for, well, maybe because it's suffering. Yeah, but chemicals versus salt. I'm going to use the
Yeah.
salt.
Yeah.
You can't grow
But
food and be a homesteader and not be removing animals from your property,
that
whether
part.
it's mice, ants, earwigs, slugs, snails. You're removing something regularly, or you're feeding it to the chickens, which is the same
That
thing.
which is the same thing.
They got to go. The grubs and the worms are like, come on, like wake up and stop being. this childish naivety, like, oh my god, exactly. Keep scrolling. If it's not for you, the lady who cleans overly, oh, you clean too much. Why are you watching my content? If you don't like the cleaning, then
If
don't
you don't,
skip.
right?
Just keep it moving. No, you clean too much.
They gotta stop and say
Let's
they
see
feel
your
like they have
house.
to say something.
Morning, fat guy. Let me see your house. Show
What up,
me your
Zach?
kitchen. Then come talk to me about who cleaned too much. Let's do a
Mhm.
comparison. Because you got time
Mhm.
to type a click, you point fingers, judge. I'm
Yep. Yep. That
I was
always
gonna delete, I'm
it
gonna
just
delete your
cracks
comment.
me up. Like I know sometimes people get and sometimes a comment can be offensive because I've definitely clapped back on some on a comment, not on my channel. I haven't had anything that's been outlandish, but I've been in other
Mhm.
people's and it depends on the content creator, but I've been in some people's comments and I saw something I didn't appreciate and I did say something and I text the person like, just know I did comment on something that somebody said in the chat because I didn't appreciate it. But
Mhm.
it typically like stuff like that, like people going in about something I might have done, like putting salt on the slug, you ain't gonna get nothing back from me.
I haven't had
I don't
anything bad.
care.
Yeah, no, because I guess they know I'll just delete the comment. But on two people's live, who was the last person? Oh yeah, I was told off. I was told off in and David was there, and Hands in the Dirt was there, because the last issue I had was somebody was commenting on the submarine incident,
Mhm.
and he came in the chat and said they're gonna burn in hell, and something to that effect, like, he was judge and jury. And so I said, change your comment, rephrase that, and change your tone, because we ain't having that nonsense over here. We weren't even
Mhm.
talking about it. He came in and brought it up and started stirring the pot. So he said a few
Mhm.
things, and then I timed him out. So he came back under his other channel, his religious channel name, and wants to know who timed him out. When I typed in the chat, I just timed out X, Y, and Z for um saying toxic comments. Maybe
Mhm.
if you read the lines in the chat, because reading is fundamental, you would have saw that I said I timed you out. I didn't hide it. I didn't throw rock and hide my hands. People could see that you're being outlandish in your comments. Then the man
Mhm.
cussing me off and care. So I said, okay, go ahead. Because I can either block you, keep blocking you and whatever, or I can let you talk. So go ahead. Whatever you're gonna type, just put it in there. Show us your
Yeah.
true colors.
Yep.
Since you have this religious channel name, let's see how religious you really are. Because I love
That
doing that.
part.
Let me just poke the bear.
Yep.
Because all that talk that you do on your channel and the praying, and then let's meditate, it
Yep.
obviously not working, because
Nope.
you come in here just toxic, slanging insults and slanging stuff. So let you slang it all. Go ahead. I got time
Exactly.
today. And the man went
Got
up and
time.
down and up and left and right and in and out.
Yep.
Didn't say nothing. Didn't curse the man, didn't bring fire down from heaven, didn't say nothing to the man. What happened to the man now? The man have to ask for prayer on the person's life again, because he's in the hospital.
See.
People don't play with me. Don't play with me. God loves me.
Mm.
If you don't love me, God love me something. And if you
Mm.
keep poking over here, something's gonna happen to you. So just don't poke over here. And I don't go out doing no OB or nothing like that. But if you keep being rude and disrespectful, more times than not, something happens on your end.
Mhm.
And the man was rude, and Hands in the Dirt came in and goes, "What's going on in here?" And right away he said, "Oh, a fanatical." Yeah, because I don't know how you're telling people who are already passed, and you're talking about who's going to hell. This is not the time and place for saying comments like that. People have family
Yeah.
members, and it's in bad taste. So I said,
And
I
what
didn't
is?
really appreciate it. So shut up. We're
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
talking about that. Who are
Yeah.
you? And blah, and then you're quoting scriptures out of context. So I said a scripture back. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Go, you obviously don't know how to read, because you don't get the context. And now I have to explain things to you. I don't have time to explain you basic fundamentals. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
I go, you're lucky I'm the new me, because the old me would have made time. I said, I don't have time. So the man went around stirring the pot, getting angry, probably flinging rocks at the computer, cursing my name, my my username, and cut on. Go ahead,
Yep.
have fun at it. You need help, and
Yep.
now he seems to be now he's asking for prayer. Pray for him. Wow.
Wow.
People aren't well.
They're
Yeah,
not.
you were there, David. You know who I'm talking about. I didn't say nothing. I could have. I kept it professional. Like you're out of line, and what you're saying. Gina, where are you going? You heading to TT's? He's asking. No, they're
I
not having
am
a friends week.
sitting. I am not doing nothing. Are you doing going to TT's? No, I'm sitting in front of that
Oh,
place.
Lowe's. Okay, or the big box store. Yeah. So I've commented on a few people's channel, like when people get really out of control.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just what goes around comes around. I'm a firm believer. Firm. I've seen it too many times. I've seen it too many times, and I'm
It's
not
funny.
about.
He asked me, "Am I going over TT's?" Like she lives around the corner. TT is 2 hours away from me, David.
Yeah, and it definitely is that people. If you're gonna be on social media, you really have to understand that people are not all well. They may present as well, but they're not well. And as soon as you understand that, you won't take things so personally.
Uh-huh.
I was in some homesteaders live one time, and we were talking about dispatching animals. My phone blew up. I couldn't believe it said that they wish mhm, that my
I'm not
kids were.
surprised because
Yeah,
this has been a common thing. People get more riled up about animal life than they do about human life. They really do, and it's not like I'm just. It's ridiculous.
I think people aren't well. Like, where do you think all that food in the grocery store is coming from? Do you think the chicken wings just flew off the chicken voluntarily and then now it's in
No, what
a cellophane
they
pack?
believe that the farmers that are raising these chickens and cows and stuff are doing it so humanely and providing them the best of care. If you have, I have rode past some of these places that have the chickens, and those chickens are so on top of each other. That's
In the
why I don't
truck,
want to
it's just
buy
stacked up in the
even
pigs.
even in the barns. I like when I
Yeah.
was going to TT's when I did go, it took me through like a really rural area. So there was like silos everywhere and farms and da 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 da. And I was like, when I drove past this one barn and I could tell that there were chickens in there because you could see some of them kind of hanging out. I was like, oh no, this is why I don't be buying groceries for chickens. That's why I want to go to the butcher. And you try to find you a butcher that's gonna, raise them right, not doing it like that. It's gross.
People are. I grew up with farming all my life, so I understood, and it was never a good day. Like the butchering or dispatching day was never. It's kind of sad, but it's a circle of life, and it's the way that you do it. And
Hmm.
if we were less wasteful, there wouldn't be so much dispatching. Like use the whole animal. How about that? Like there's some basic things that we stopped doing, and now
Hmm.
everyone's upset and up in arms over a chicken and a whatever. And I've rescued the chickens from the place.
Hmm.
There's something about populate, like they're trying to control the population of human beings. Don't you think there's the same principle with animals? There's population control. You can't just let them keep multiplying. There has to be a limit, otherwise it's going to be overpopulation. Oh no, that's not a
Hmm.
problem. That's not a problem.
Hmm.
Let them all while you're having
Exactly.
your nuggets with the dipping sauce
That part.
that just came out of the thin air. This nugget with the breaded, coating, thin air.
That part.
Like, come on, guys. We're so this is ridiculous. But I don't know why
It's
you're watching farming and homesteading channels if you don't like what they're doing. Like, there's some
that
things
part.
I'm not a fan of because I didn't know it, but like the whole castrating, I understand why they're doing it now that I'm because you don't want them to put that energy into that. You want them to grow them for meat. You're not using them for breed. Like, there's a whole thing about it. But the way that you
Hmm.
do things, you have to learn. Like, this is what happens with raising food. It's not what you think.
Mhm.
It's not Babe the movie with a cute pink, little piglet and walking around. No, there's stuff that's
Yeah.
involved in raising animals.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have to either be a part of the solution if you don't like that, or but don't be critical. Don't wish harm on people's like, come on.
Yeah.
Something's not right there. Something's not right there.
Yeah.
People be going missing every other day, but you're worrying about one little bird that had a good life and was happy, and it's time for that bird to, because a bird is going to pass on anyways. They have a 10 year 10 years is too much for most chickens. They don't
Yeah.
last that long, even if you treat them well and feed them well. There's a time limit, so you have to understand like each species has a certain time limit. So you're better off taking it out earlier than later, because you're going to
Mhm.
have toxicity in the product. It's up to you
True.
what you want to do, but don't be judging somebody else. If they're not doing anything
Exactly.
inhumane, I don't think you should be. But people, you can't even say the word. So one guy, when I was on this channel, I'm like, what's a he called them pig seeds. No, what did he call the bacon seeds? I'm like, what the hell's a bacon seed? What are we talking about here? He goes, oh, we can't say the thing because people get upset. So we're calling them bacon seeds now, which means like he's getting a piglet to raise for meat, which means that eventually he's gonna bacon seeds. So I was laughing. I'm like, you're joking, right? He's like, no, people literally get upset. So now they have to make other words to say things because
I
it
wouldn't.
sounds a little
They can
softer.
literally get off my channel. That's what they can do.
No, it's called a
I will
piglet.
not be
It's called a piglet. Like there's names, and you raise it, and you either breed it or you. So I was there in Jamaica when they butchered the pig, because we raised. My uncle used to raise 2 pigs a year, and that those 2 pigs would feed. I don't really eat pork. I don't do the pork, but if I'm back home, I will have some jerk pork because I know where it came from, how it was raised. That lasts the family, even people visiting from overseas, for over a year because we don't heavily eat that. So when he does 2 pigs, it's more than enough. You got the bacon, the loins, the this, the that, because nothing's being wasted. And he fed them
right.
only, if you saw what happened, people have been, oh my god, where do you think this
Yeah.
comes from? Where do you think your BLT comes from?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not down for the soapbox, but anyways,
Yeah.
somebody come get all these grounds and skunks from my property, please. Oh, the groundhogs?
What was that? I
PIA.
need to go
I
back
did
and
not
watch
know
your.
PIA, but they're in Detroit.
She
She's in
did
Detroit.
and I didn't watch it. I love Potato Harvest, so I'm gonna have to go back and watch that because I
I'm
I
behind.
will
I'm behind in many people's videos.
I will sit and search Potato Harvest. I don't know what's so gratifying about Potato Harvest, but I love watching them.
I like potatoes. I didn't get any this year, but
I
I did not
did.
know Miss PIA was in Detroit. I didn't know that till I think last night on Rooster.
About what now?
PIA lives in Detroit. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh yeah, I knew that.
I didn't know. Yeah, so okay. I'm like, who's in Detroit? I know. So because I pass through there when I'm going places. So oh, she wants a leaf of life cutting. Will it
Now,
survive the mate? Will it
Kia,
survive?
you know that it can't be outside. It's tropical, so you would have to give it conditions in order for it to live. Michigan is just as bad as Ohio as far as cold goes, probably worse.
She going, yeah, that has to come inside. Mine's inside, so hopefully it survives. I have it on a grow light right now because it's very overcast.
Hmm.
But I'm gonna have to make sure that I can propagate it, because I tried to propagate the other one, it didn't, and then it just kept deteriorating. I don't know why, but oh, you want bacon seeds? Nikki wants bacon seeds.
Who is that?
Nikki, I'm like, what is a bacon seed? I'm like, is this I didn't get it. I'm like, I thought we would just talk like regular adults with real words. No, we had to use all
Mm,
these words and learn. I had to learn all this code.
yeah,
Um, yeah, that's what's going on. It's
yeah,
if you're gonna eat, as this one man said, his homesteader said, if you're gonna eat meat, you're gonna have to really understand what goes into producing your meat. And I think people have disconnect. You need to understand what goes into your meat.
mhm,
And I don't like what a lot of the big companies are doing, but that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna consume meat.
yeah,
That's the way that you know. I want to be a part of the solution and supporting those who are doing it the ethical and proper way, and they're not polluting the environment while they're doing it. So I'm choosing
Mhm.
to buy things from local farmers and not the big stores anymore. But
Mhm.
be a part of the solution, not complaining and threatening people. Shrimp seeds, PIA and Sammy. But that explains PIA. Now that explains your. I could see now, like, yeah, you're from Detroit. She got that gangster, like, I'm a chokehold you. I'm a this, like, she just. I'm like, oh, I get it now. She from Detroit.
Oh yeah.
Take care, she said.
I'm
But
actually about
yeah,
to
I'm
head
gonna
out so
wrap
I
it up.
can get in the store. Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up. But we'll talk soon. See you later, Gigi.
See ya. Bye,
So
everybody. I'll
I'll
be
do
in the
my
chat though.
announcements. So remember, tonight I think it's the chat on whose channel is it on tonight? Nikki. Yeah, it's not the last. It's not the last Saturday. So I think is it Hands in the Dirt or is it your channel tonight at 7 o'clock? I believe, right? So there's the chat when she responds. Friday nights is Big Rooster show. I was there, but I fell asleep, so I'm going to watch the rest. It's past my bedtime. Um, Tori's brain is back, I believe, with the Friday Night Fire and the games. I'm not sure his schedule is still in the works, but he has a lot of shorts, so please support the shorts. Monday is My Fly Family. When Tuesday is Trill Tuesday with African Dreaming. Wednesday night is Erica My Fly Family at 6 p.m. now. Fridays is usually Gina versus Gina with her Frugal Fridays at 6 p.m. Where am I also usually in these streets? I'm also on Blind Guy, which is now Superfood Parents. They go live. I think I can't remember which day, but I know I'm usually there sometimes at 11:15 Eastern time. So check them out with health and wellness tips. And other people are live, but I can't be everywhere. But I think I don't know if Fat Guy went live this month yet. He does a monthly live. I don't recall him going live yet, so I think it's going to be coming up soon. So check that out. Completely disconnected. Oh, you're disconnected? Okay. Tonight there's going to be the chat. So I don't know, either Hands in the Dirt or um okay, so Fat Guy is supposed to be going live sometime, I guess, in the next 2 weeks. Oh, he's gonna go live tonight. Okay. So Fat Guy's gonna go live tonight. So if he has a thumbnail, I can send it out. And who else? I don't know. Those are the people I watch. So and others, but they don't always go live. They just push out content. So enjoy your day. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. We'll talk next week. I don't think I have anything interfering with my schedule next week. There's a few things to talk about next week. I have on my notebook here, but we did the bed bugs. There's a few other things. We'll talk about that next week. And Hands in the Dirt. So the chat is on Hands in the Dirt tonight at 7 p.m. Oh, Wind Down Wednesdays is at Hands in the Dirt. So you want to go there with your liquor and have fun on Wednesday nights. Go over there as well. And just keep supporting, guys. So take care. You can type hashtag urban to drop your link. I'll let it linger for a few minutes and then I'll shut it down. All right. Take care, guys. Thanks for popping in.